Check, mic check, 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Platform Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dex. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go hit that subscribe button, leave some comments for the guest, any questions that you have. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you give us a follow, give us that 5-star review, let us know what you think of the show. Today, we're going to be sitting down with who I think is personally Milwaukee's hottest DJ, guy that's been throwing his own events all over the city, making a huge name for himself, starting his own parties, and really taking over the city, doing it all. We're sitting down with Mr. New York. Brandis, how's it going, man? How you doing?
How's it going, brother?
It's good to see you, man. It's been
You too,
a while.
man.
It's been a long time.
I feel like it's been forever.
Yeah. Happy to be back here in Milwaukee. Just sat down with Rucker a little bit ago. Was able to talk to him and get a couple of his stories out there. He had some funny shit to say.
Did you bring your coat?
I did.
You're smart.
I didn't need one in Nashville, man. It's like 60 degrees when I left.
It's a big change. Anytime my dad lives in Miami now, and anytime he comes out here, he's like, I'm never coming back.
I didn't know he lived in Miami now. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to get into a couple things with you. We got a couple topics lined up. Obviously, with you running a lot of your own events and throwing your own events instead of just kind of being the DJ that's plugged in at the club, you're kind of the one that is throwing the events at the club. So we want to talk about how you kind of got started doing that to be able to brand yourself enough to be throwing your own events, and then kind of the negotiating side of it, of what goes into that, differing from just a DJ on a regular night where you're able to negotiate a little bit more, get paid a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other things that you've been doing, obviously we'll touch on a huge event that you run, which is R&B Tuesday. Some of the different venues that you've been able to play at and play for, like Summerfest, Milwaukee's biggest festival, one of the biggest festivals in the nation. Mm-hmm. And then talking about some other things of how busy that you are and dealing with the mental toll that can take on you of not getting burnt out from playing so much, and kind of how you go about it. But first, let the listeners, let the viewers kind of learn a little bit about you, of where you're from, how you got started on this journey, and how long you've been doing it.
For sure. I moved into Milwaukee from New York around, I was 8 years old. Grew up here, been here for a long time. Went to high school, graduated, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Mm-hmm. I used to kick it with a small select group of friends who I'm friends with to this day. And we just kind of just threw our own little kickbacks, and I started to do little house parties. And I wasn't a DJ. I used to have the iPod Classic and used to just run songs through there. And it turned out from 20 people to 40 people next week, and then a month later, it's hundreds of people started showing up to my house parties. So I was really a house party DJ. I was a house party event thrower at the time. And I want to say a year or two into throwing parties, I was starting to charge at the door to make money. And then I pretty much had a legal operation of parties. Yeah. And I would basically learn how to teach myself how to DJ eventually. And then years later, when I had a clientele, a crowd that followed me, mm-hmm. I pretty much sold it to my bar. The first bar I worked at was Bamboo. And then I worked more majorly on the South Side. And then I knew what I wanted to do was work downtown, because it's more universal, what I like, it's more diverse. So I'll be able to play more than just hip hop. Because I remember when I first started DJing downtown, they called me a hip hop DJ, which mm-hmm. was frowned upon at the time. But now hip hop is the number one
genre
of music going on. And yeah. So I started working downtown. I think Bad Genie. I did the Wednesdays at Bad Genie, and that's when really people started. Yeah, right. R.I.P. Bad Genie. But Bad Genie was my first Wednesday residency, and I remember going in there. Shouts to Eli. Eli, I met with him for the first time. Didn't know who the fuck I was, and then He's like, I think me and my partner at the time, Nick Edmonds, who was Nick Magic, who was managing Webster X at the time, and basically we collabed on a party. We called it Mo Functional, but we spun it to Eli, and he was like, you know, like we already had a Poppin' Friday, so at the time, like I didn't know, like I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get in Bad Genie on a Friday night. Eli's like, no, you're not actually. And then Wednesday, he was like, yo, what about Wednesday? Because I think at that time Wednesdays were like dying down. So then we created our own party called Mo Functional. It's like me wearing funky outfits, you know, and that was my first time actually like exploiting myself like that, like just being funny and just being me, you know what I mean? Like, and let me tell you, like that first Wednesday was like popping, like packed wall to wall in the first hour.
Yeah.
And like the next week after that, like, and it's crazy, like, back and a lot of people don't know, like I was not making money at that time, like barely. Like I was probably pushing 150, maybe seeing 200, but the bar was packed. But I was so young and not knowing, like, you know, there was more money to be made. Like easily that could have been $1,000 night. You know what I mean? Like at Bad Genie. But you know, you live and you learn. And then I met. At the time when Matty Ice and David those guys were promoters, they ended up seeing me at Mango's. I was working at Mango's Cafe at the time on Mondays, and I met Mike Edler, and Tamsin was working, Berta was working, and Mike Edler got to see me DJ, and he was like, yo, like, you know, I run Dick's. I already knew who he was, so I was like nervous. I'm like
being in there.
Yeah, because I used to go to Dick's all the time on Thursdays. And then like it's crazy like how life works. And like a few years later, I ended up DJing. I ended up being the resident DJ. So me being a resident DJ on Thursdays, I was opening for all the Chicago guys, Psy, Apollo, Jersey.
Yep.
I don't think I ever got to open up for Kid Cut Up or anything like that. But Thor, all these guys I looked up to, you know, I got to open up for them, and JB, just a bunch of like big DJs that were downtown. I was like running stuff, you know, I got to open up for them, and you know, I had my moments again. Like at that time, I was young, you know, getting little chump change to open up for guys, and you know, they're amazing. Like I don't blame anybody. You know, that's just a part of the life circle of the DJ thing that was happening for me at the time. I was young and hungry, like, so I was willing to like make those sacrifices, you know, to do that, you know. But Dick's ended up moving. Mike Edler sold Dick's to somebody else, and we moved to 720, and I actually got to do the grand opening of 720, which I felt privileged and honored to do. I think that was Thursdays, right? When we started doing Thursdays, it was me, you, and Trav, right? And I did the grand opening of that, and then me and you and Trav, and eventually started doing the Thursday party there at 720. And I think they had Eddie on Saturday. Well, they had a bunch of artists.
Eddie would kind of rotate between like Fridays and Saturdays, but it was like me and you and Trav until Trav kind of went out of Milwaukee. And then we did those Thursdays until COVID. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Yeah. And also like, you know, I would bring this up, and not to discredit, like I'm so appreciative of everybody that have helped me along the road, but like this is how I got to like find my value a little bit. When Dick's, with new owners, they swapped me up, and they kind of took me from 720 at that time. And this is before I even knew Tony. Like I didn't know who the fuck Tony was. Now me and Tony are like best friends. But at the time, like I didn't know Tony. Like Tony respectfully didn't give a fuck about me at the time. Just thought I was another motherfucker working at his club. So I ended up going to Dick's because they offered me more money. They gave me full control of my own party, which that's all I wanted at the time, you know. And I created another ladies' night, even though it was kind of DJs. I'm not saying that this is the way you should do it, but I'm just saying this is what I did. so I went next door to 720 at the time.
For people that don't know, they're literally
right next door to
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And I kind of just, betted on me and did my own party against my rivals at that time, which was 720. And I did an amazing Thursday party. And I would not recommend DJs doing this. This is a once in a lifetime thing that ended up working. But that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
And eventually, and then I ended up meeting Ed DeSazer. And Ed DeSazer, me and him had a conversation because at this time it was like boiling waters with dicks a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like it was. I'm not even going to go into detail what was going on, but I felt unappreciated, and it kind of showed. I wouldn't say like money isn't everything, but like because money is important, but it was one of those things where I just felt unappreciated at the time with my Thursday situation, and so I think Ed DeSazer ended up seeing me walk into Lucid because I was going to see Berto. Berto was at Lucid at the time with Donato and all those guys. I think Rucker was working there too. But I was just going in there, and then Ed DeSazer stopped me. And Ed DeSazer is also the first person to ever buy me Clase Azul. I didn't know what the fuck that was. So shout outs to Ed DeSazer.
He's the one that started your bougie taste.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I started drinking tequila after that. And then he was like, yo, like, what happened? Because I don't think he was actually there when the situation with 720 at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, like, what can we do to make it right? And, like we just came out with a number and he paid me. And we never really had the problem after that, even after DeSazer. But DeSazer is the main reason why I like went back to 720.
Yeah.
And then also another thing where like I was like, yo, like, am I opening up for guys still? Like they were like, no, like you're just gonna be with Declan and Trav at that time. So we all just did a party at the time on Thursdays, and it was dope.
Yeah.
And then eventually Eddie, shouts to Eddie, because a lot of people don't know. Like, he might be a dickhead and an asshole to a lot of people. But
he
like,
just stopped by here a little bit ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
And that's my boy. Like, that guy is like, he reminds me of you, bro. Like, you're just so thoughtful of others, and just not. It isn't always about him. Because I met DJs that's all about them and them only, and that's cool. Like, and I try not to be like that, but I just be so caught up in work sometimes. So like, I don't be having time to like hang out like that. But anyway, that's a different story. But Eddie, I remember one time Eddie was like, yo, he pretty much vouched for me to be there on a Saturday. If anybody that doesn't know that's not from Milwaukee, Saturdays at 720 is like an elite night in the club scene in Milwaukee. It's like the hottest night to DJ at any club. Mm-hmm. He basically vouched for me, and he was like, yo, like, he hit up Tony. He was like, yo, like, I really trust, I think Brandis would be dope. Me and him do Saturdays with me, whatever. And Tony was like, all right, he'll be your opener. And a lot of people don't know, like, he showed me the text, like, he's like, like, I think Brandis is good enough to, like, go back to back with me. And I'm like, oh shit, like he really stepped up for me. Like this guy really likes me. And he did. And he was like, all right, Tony trusted him because that's his boy at the time. Like, I wasn't really that close to Tony at the time. And then, that's the history of that. That's why I work at 720 still. And then COVID happened, and all of us lost our gigs. And Tony, like, because at the time, like, he had big DJs, like Five. He had
he would
Jersey.
Have
He still had all the scam
through.
artists, DJs come in at the time on Saturdays. And then me and Eddie would probably like rotate 1 or 2 Saturdays throughout the 4 or 5 Saturdays.
I mean, because you guys came out of COVID and they didn't open up any other days anymore.
Correct.
So like we were doing our Thursdays prior, where then after COVID, they weren't opening on Thursdays, Fridays anymore. Where then it was like, or they might have like for the first couple weeks, and then Tony was just like, fuck it.
Nah, yeah.
Like, let's put all the energy into Saturdays.
Yep.
had you and Eddie do Saturdays, and it's been since then, man.
Yeah, it's been like I remember the first day back when we had the flyer that said "Together Again."
Yeah,
dude, that shit almost went viral on like Twitter. Like they were like 720's back open. Everybody like I remember the energy around that time. And then Tony had locked us in. He was like, "Yo, I want y'all here every Saturday."
Yep.
And that first Saturday, I'm seeing like dude like all the big spenders coming in and they're in the DJ booth. And these motherfuckers are popping like I think I see, like I'm not even exaggerating. They spent like $6,000 to $10,000 on the DJ booth, and I'm like, what the fuck? And me and Eddie walked. I was like, Eddie, you know what this means, right? We walked straight to the office, look at Tony, and he's like, and Tony looks at it. You guys want more money, huh? It's like absolutely.
But that's all about knowing your value. I mean, even from the start of this story of talking about Bad Genie being that like first residency spot that you had, where you're really first throwing your own party. And I mean, at that time when you're on Jefferson Street used to be fucking popping.
Mikey's.
Yeah, between Mikey's, Genie, and Plum.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, those three every single Wednesday were just like, it was a nice mesh.
And Taylor still.
Yeah, yeah. Taylor's a little bit different crowd of like a little bit older, but still, it was packed on that street every single Wednesday. And then it's like you had the freedom to go from one to the other, where it's like, all right, cool. Like I can go hit Bad Genie, I can go over to Mikey's, or if like the line is too long, I can go hop over here. But I mean, talk about that realizing that moment where you kind of realize like, oh fuck, like I have something a little bit more here.
Yeah.
Where
honestly, what I really going back to the Bad Genie times, I remember me going to went to right before I started Wednesdays, the cook at Mikey's. He was like, man, and I'm just having a simple conversation with him. And I'm like, man, yeah, it's about to be popping at Bad Genie on Wednesday. And he was like, man, everybody goes to Mikey's. I was like, I bet you it changes. And then
wasn't Austin the fucking cook?
Who was the cook?
Austin McCullough used to fucking cook there.
So that's who it was. Yeah. Okay. Damn, I never noticed that. So, damn, that was Austin McCullough?
He used to cook there, yeah.
I was drunk out of my mind because I don't even remember. But that was Austin McCullough. I'm like, damn, who the fuck was that? So somebody came back. So whoever, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was Austin McCullough because I'm not going to put these words in his mouth.
Yeah.
But whoever that was, he inspired me to like, literally, I went hard with guerrilla marketing. Like, I'd start DMing every girl that was in my DMs. I hit him up like, yo, you got to pull up to this Wednesday party. It's about to be cracking. And I had a line down the block, right? And that cook came into Bad Genie. He was like, bro, you did it. I was like, I fucking told you. Like, I was just hammered. Like, I told you. So thank you to the cook at Mikey's because you inspired me to do some amazing shit.
No, that shit was, I mean, Bad Genie, it's crazy. And like we said, RIP to Bad Genie. But man, like those Wednesdays used to be the shit. And it's in part the venue too, because that venue was so small and intimate, that it made the party so much better. Where it's like you
people
still
can go
had the
outside
downstairs,
and smoke their cigs.
Yeah, you got the patio, but it's like you guys were up on the stage, and then you basically have that full dance floor in front of you. But
it was like a concert. Like it felt like that Bad Genie was one of those venues where I felt like a DJ. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is a full DJ experience. Like people are coming to see me. You know what I mean? Like, oh man.
And it was somewhere Eli, obviously, as a DJ manager, was awesome because he understands of like what needs to be played. He's not somebody that's like on top of you, like, hey, don't play this.
He plays house, but he let me rip hip hop.
Yeah. Which is like different for Bad Genie at that time. Like they were basically only doing
house music, bass, flips, like, and he was like, bro, like it's your night, like just don't get it too crazy, and we're good. Like,
I mean, it was awesome. It was a cool party, but then seeing from the other side of that, where you're talking about being like known as like a South Side hip hop DJ. When you first started,
and I'm ripping these house tracks, these random fucking songs, and just to get it out of their head, like like I still do this shit. I even started working at Brass Alley at the time, and I was playing the total opposite of what I usually would play, like just so people could understand, like, yo, I'm more than just a hip hop DJ. Yeah,
talk about that as far as like being versatile as a DJ and kind of battling that stigma that I feel like is a real thing here in Milwaukee, where. I mean, people like don't necessarily want hip hop, and you have to kind of be able to be a versatile DJ for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that kind of helped you moving to downtown, where it's like it made you a more versatile DJ?
Yeah, I mean, what I listen to on my time is not hip hop. Like on my spare free time, like it's not rap music. Like I barely listen to rap. I mean, sure I do, but I barely listen to it.
Yeah.
Like I listen to it just so I can be like up to date with it. Like I'll rip through some albums real quick and then be done with it. But like, yeah, I listen to like shit like Coldplay and white boy bands and shit. Like that's what I listen to on my free time because it's good music to me and it keeps me like mellow and makes me fall asleep. Like that's the shit I listen to. Like
when you're trying to fall asleep,
yeah,
let me listen to some boring.
I'm always working and I ain't trying to. And then another thing is like when I dated my ex, you know my ex, but like when I dated her, she would always after the club blast the music. I'm like, and she would get mad because I want to listen to peace and quiet. Like I want to listen to our conversation and that's it. Like I just been in the club for 4 or 5 hours listening to fucking Dreams and Nightmares and all the same shit that you're playing, The Future and all that bullshit. I just want to go home, sleep, cuddle with you and like not listen to this shit. Like, you know, but
it's a different little dynamic that a lot of people don't think of. And I do the same thing all the time where like, I can't tell you how many times I get in my car and I'll be driving for like a half hour and I'm
silence.
Like, and I don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, damn, I haven't even turned the radio on or anything because it's just like, I just want to fucking turn off sometimes because it gets to the point where you're like listening to music becomes a job where you're like studying it and you're just kind of always thinking, you're like, oh shit, this would work. Oh, this wouldn't work. Where it's almost like, damn, I just want to listen to it like just to listen to it.
Yeah.
Or at the same time, like I just want to fucking turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from you starting up a lot of these newer residencies, because you went through the list. It used to be like fucking Mango's Monday, and then Somewhere Tuesday, Bad Genie Wednesday, Dick's on Thursday,
720,
and then like 720 Saturday. And now
I was at Poorman's for a while too on Fridays.
Yeah.
And then I put Gilly over there eventually. Like when Ben was like, you know, he was like, yo, you're getting too big for Poorman's. Shout out to Ben from Poorman's. And he's right. I mean, it's a blessing. It was a gift that him telling me that, and I got to put Gilly in that on Fridays there. She's still there too. And I think her and Nick, I'm not sure, but well, she was there recently, but like for a long time. But like the fact that like she's tapped in with them over there now, like that's pretty cool. Like that's another blessing. Like I'm happy to put
on
be
other people.
The same way like Eddie did for me. Like I'm able to do that for other people.
Yeah.
You know, silently. You know.
No, that's always a good feeling too. Like when I have homies reach out to me that I know, like I would vouch for personally. Like obviously, I have other people who just hit me up randomly asking for gigs, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But when it's people that you know fit a venue or fit a night, and you can get them in there, it's just a good feeling to be able to just help out the homies and get them into these newer spots. But I mean, now you're balancing. How many residencies are you at now? You're just every Sunday at Revel. You're Mondays are off. Tuesday, Miramar.
I just don't work Monday and Wednesday now. I had a chance to work. Well, you know, I quit that Wednesday for a little bit, but I just don't work Mondays and Wednesdays right now.
So how do you deal with that as far as like not burning yourself out? Because I do feel like from watching it from an outsider's perspective as a DJ, a lot of times I'm like, damn, like how the fuck does Brandis do it?
Yeah.
Because I look at it like over summer when I was working at Apple full time, I was still DJing a lot, and DJ was like starting to pick up more in Nashville because I had been newer there, and then I was like starting to get my foot in the door of more places, and then that led to me being booked a lot more. So I was balancing over 40 hours a week at Apple, then probably another 20 DJing, and then going back to school full time all over summer, where I was back in school at Belmont, putting in that time in class, doing 15 credits, and then all the homework and everything. And there were days where I'm like, fuck, dude, this is too much. And then I had to kind of decide to put Apple to the side. How do you go about that and like your thought process of it, of you having a family, you got kids,
too,
you want to have your personal life too, but then I feel like you are always so motivated with your work too, and the quality of the product that you put out for your events, for your promotion. You want to keep in line with your name that's backing it.
I always work on my off days. I never like fully take off.
See, and that's what I'm saying. It ends
yeah.
up being a 7-day week.
Yeah. And I do take vacations, like, you know, when I know I need to. Like, it's like, I'm like, man, I can't think of work right now. I want to stay away from, you know, when I went to Puerto Rico, I remember just still being like, still tapped in because the managers are hitting me up about like, yo, there are the guys that's replacing you here at this venue, or the guy that's replacing you here at this venue. We just want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm like, man, I'm turning this phone off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on vacation. I'm in Puerto Rico drinking pina coladas. I'm not worried about X, Y, and Z right here on Water Street or Milwaukee Street right now. Like, I'm trying to decompress from that. So when I come back into it, it can be a load of shit. I don't give a fuck. Like, as long as I'm enjoying this little time and spending my time with my kids on this day and this day, like, you know, like my biggest reward is that I'm a dad and I get to, you know, they get pretty much whatever the fuck they want. They're spoiled as fuck. And, you know, I just try to make sure that relationship, I want to be half the man as like my dad is to me, to them. So, yeah.
Because I know how much work you put into it. So, but I know how much you got to focus on your mental health too, because the shit can absolutely be draining.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, I'm sure you've seen it. Like, I actually openly expressed it. I'm like, damn, like, I had the most successful 2023, but mentally, like, I had the worst year of my life, but I still, like, in my personal life, but in my work life, I had the best DJ career ever, you know, to most people. But, you know, yeah. It's crazy. Like, you just have to find a little balance, and you'll be good after that. And then I think not drinking helped me a lot. Like, I see a lot more clear. Like, I'm 2 months sober today. By the time this comes out, I'll probably be 3 months sober. But, you know, like, you know, I think that I needed that because, you know, 15, 16 years of hard drinking, you know, almost every night. Like, I needed some type of break. You know, just the other night, this fucking kid comes up to Whitetail, and he knows I'm sober. You know, I know it's a holiday. I don't give a fuck. If it's your birthday, I don't give a fuck. Happy birthday. But I don't care to drink right now. If I tell you, like, respectfully, I'm not drinking, you should respect that if you fuck with me, for real. And I asked him, and he's like, what are you drinking? I was like, this, Red Bull. You know, I'm going to keep me up still. And he was like, all right. He has the bartender bring me a shot of Rumplemints. And I thought he was like trying to be cool and bring me water. So I smelt it. I'm like, the fuck? So I waited for him to pay the tab. And I walked up in front of him and he was like, cheers. And I was like this. I dumped it. I was like, thanks for the Red Bull. And walked back to the DJ booth and played the next song.
See, because when I saw like the tweet for it, and I was like, oh, like, I'm trying to give this kid the benefit of the doubt where I'm like, oh, like, maybe he doesn't know that you aren't drinking.
Nah, he knew.
But to know, and that's something that I've talked about on these podcasts before too, where especially here in Milwaukee is hard. And I feel like a lot of people don't respect.
Until they really come here.
Yeah. Well, they don't realize like how much people do drink here.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I feel like
it's like a reward to drink here.
Yeah. And then the majority of the service industry also at the same time, like, doesn't respect it when you're not drinking.
Right.
And especially as a DJ where you're curating the party, it's like, it's almost like they like expect you to be drinking, where that shouldn't be a necessity at all.
But like reality, like, how do you expect a man to play music for y'all 7 days a week almost and be drunk all 7 of those days? Like, y'all want me to die?
Yeah, for real.
Like, y'all want me to come into the damn club?
And you know you're showing up. It's like, dude, you're not all the way rested. Like, you're hungover, whatever. Yep. Even if it's at 10 o'clock that next day, like, you're not getting the same rest.
But I had that in my head for so long. Like, man, I still got to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
And then now I'm like, no, fuck that. I don't have to do that.
No, it's good. And you got to worry about yourself too. And like you said, your work has probably changed so much because you're able to be more rested. You're able to be more focused. And then I'm sure even in your DJ sets, like, was it hard at first playing sober?
It was so hard.
Yeah.
Man. Like all the big time ballers in the club, they have bottles and the presentation.
Oh, I think of Mo like right away. That motherfucker is
Thank
trouble.
God he hasn't been in the club in the last few months of my sobriety. But like I did see him one time, and this motherfucker comes in the club. He was like, "Yeah, you're drinking." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like, bro, like I'm not drinking tonight. Like, bro, I'm not feeling good. I had to lie and tell him like the doctor's orders said I can't drink right now.
Like, I'm on antibiotics.
Like, shit, I don't know what the fuck you wanted me to. Like, I don't know. And it just was funny. Like, but now, like, the cool thing about one thing I've been seeing though, I've been getting a lot more support from people in the industry and even party goers. I had this kid. His name is Lou. Cool as fuck. I don't even think he's supposed to be in the club. I don't think he's even old enough to be in there, but he spends a lot of money. So
we won't say where he's going.
We won't say a word. But anyway, like this guy, it was my one time for my birthday. He put "Happy Birthday, Mr. New York," and then another night when he seen I was sober, I think he just seen it from my stories. And this motherfucker has his bottles, and then I see a big ass box of Fiji waters in his shit.
Nice.
And he was like this. He's like, "Congrats, brother."
That's awesome.
And while I'm DJing at 720, I'm like, "Oh, that's dope." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, people are actually respected. Like, I think we're in a new era now, like, where people are actually respecting it versus when me and you started. Like, they didn't give a fuck. Like, you had to drink.
And especially as a DJ, it's like, dude, they would expect you to drink
Yeah.
because they think it's gonna like bring more people in.
Yep.
More friends are gonna come see you if you're partying. And man, that's been a huge shift in Nashville. One, like not having to be as much of a promoter as a DJ, where it's like they're fucking busy as shit regardless. But like the venues that do have promoters, like that's on them. Like it's not on the DJ to make the venue busy. Yeah,
that's dope.
Like you're able to focus on just DJing, where then it's easier to not drink because then you don't have fucking. Like, I don't know as many people out there, so I don't have as many people coming out that know me and are coming and bringing shots. But the places that I do DJ at are super respectful. Like, they're like, "Oh, cool, you want a water then?" And they'll be right on it.
Oh, that's dope.
So, but yeah, I mean, even
if only we did that in Wisconsin,
man. But touching on that, I mean, that's an aspect that I think you like talking about me not having to promote. I think for you doing your own events, and we've talked about this off of camera, just about how you're doing and stuff. That's something where I think it offers so much more value to you as a DJ because when you're adding in these fees and you're going through negotiating with venues, you can say, "Hey, I'm DJing it. I'm also your promoter.
Yep.
I don't need another promoter. I can do the shit myself. I'll run ads. I'll do all this kind of stuff. I'll even find like the staff to work these nights and get different guests in here that are going to bring different people in every week." So what do you think about like when you're setting up these nights? Like right now you have your R&B Tuesday, you have Revel on Sundays, you obviously have 720 every Saturday, you have Lucid every Friday, and then obviously they're closing after the new year. How do you go about like negotiating that and presenting your value to all these different venues? Because they're also different nights at like different genres of music at the different venues too. Like Lucid, I think you do something really special with a lot of these theme nights that no one else in the city does. Tuesday, obviously.
Can't wait to see how many things
now
pop up
they'll be
this.
coming up. Tuesday, obviously.
Hey, y'all, just because Lucid's closed on Friday, you guys think I'm not coming with some heat on Fridays? Y'all got me fucked up.
Yep. But then like Tuesdays, you got the R&B.
Yeah.
720, obviously Saturday
Open
is a little bit
format,
more open format, club environment. And then Sunday is a little bit different over at Revel where it's like a little bit more of a chill vibe, but still you're able to kind of play whatever you want.
Yep.
So when you're going through negotiating this with these different venues, I mean, how do you go about it? Has it changed in the last year or two?
Yeah. So when they hit me up, like I just basically tell them exactly what you just told me. Like just telling them like, yo, like I'm gonna create, like I'm basically gonna bring you money. I know it's a little bit more expensive than what you're used to. But it's going to be worth it in the end. Like, you know, and I show them my track record. I mean, they already know that. Because they always approach me.
They're reaching out to you.
Like, I'm not reaching out to them. Because at the end of the day, like, I can throw my own shit, like you said. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
How much more enjoyable is that as a DJ to be able to throw your own?
Like honestly, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little conflicted about my Fridays at Lucid because like that's one of my favorite nights to DJ. But I know I can curate that again. You know, and
it's just a matter of finding the right venue.
The right venue for it. Yeah. You know, that's gonna have that similar vibe because like Lucid's just perfect. It's big, but it's not too big. Like it's easy to pack it up to me.
And also, I mean, even on the nights where it is slower, you got that half wall that you can close. So,
I mean, we've left it open for past like year and a half now. Like it's been
because you built it up to be busy enough.
Yeah. Like I was like, man, we don't need it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was having a conversation with Mike Breyer's dad, and he was like, man, we should just get rid of it. And I'm like, at first I was like, why would we get rid of it? And then I'm like thinking like, yeah, we should get rid of it because like that's my job to build up the dance floor and control it. Like y'all don't need me blocking it off, and it looks so fucking weird just being there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, get rid of that shit. Like let's just go all in. Like that's my job as a DJ to curate those girls to go right there to get. And people don't even know or recognize that. Like that is my job to have people drink at that bar up there or have these girls dance in front of the DJ booth. I'll hype them up. I'll get a bottle myself and pour some shots and get them ready like for the whole night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like this little things that I've learned over the years, what makes a party. Like,
yeah.
And it'd be the little smallest shit that no one even thinks about that makes a party. Like taking a shot with, or giving shots away to those group of pretty girls right there. Like they feel that. Like they'll be happy as fuck. Like, oh my God, and he's not hitting on me. He's not on no weird shit. He's just being nice. And I feel like being nice, and I said this in another interview like last week, like being nice goes a long way to these customers that come out. And some of my friends, like being nice, being genuine, celebrating somebody's birthday, like make it a big deal for them. Like make them a flyer. Like the most little simplest shit like that people forget and be so focused on the bigger shit, like making sure people get there. They'll get there if you're nice as fuck to them and genuine. I know people can be annoying as fuck, be drunk as hell, like, but that's one thing I've had to realize, like get it out of my brain. Like people are gonna be assholes. People are gonna be dicks. People are going to be extras. Some people are going to be cheap. Some people are going to ball out. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to have everything all at once. Like, you're sometimes going to have things at different times. And I feel like when you're nice and genuine, that shit just goes a long way, you know?
Yeah, and then personalizing that experience for these guests, too. Yeah. I mean, that goes a long way. People just like to see themselves on a flyer, or like to see their name on a bottle sign, anything like that. Is going to make that experience so much better for someone that maybe they don't come out every single weekend.
Shit, if I see some certain people that I know that comes out all the time, I sometimes play a certain song for them like that I know they love, and they're like, "Oh, New York," and post me on their Snapchat or Instagram, and I just repost that. That's free promotion.
It's funny how you get to know like the regulars. Yeah. You know what songs are their shit, where you can just kind of target it. Okay, cool. They just walked in, watch this. Watch me drop
or
this.
Or if they have a bottle coming out, like I'm going to play that song when the bottle comes out.
Yeah, 100%.
If they're Spanish, I'm going to play a Bad Bunny record. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain like shit like that. Like people really do realize that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
I don't do requests, but like I still look at it, like, and I'll probably later in the night be on the laptop or the next day and look into the song if I don't know it. And that's how, like, because sometimes I'm just so in my mind already. Like people don't understand. Like I am 3-4 songs ahead of y'all. Like y'all on my 4 songs behind me, and I'm like focused. Like especially me being sober now. Like I've really been in like my.
You're able to be way more locked in.
Big focus. I feel like when I was drunk, I just be overthinking and I'm looking around. And now I'm not really looking around. I'm just really paying attention to who's dancing. And I want to see how I can get the next person to dance right next to him. So
talk about R&B Tuesday. I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest events in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are you going on, 3 years now?
4.
4 years now?
Yeah.
Shit.
3 years at the Miramar, but 4 years.
Well, I guess because, you started at Revel. Damn.
Yeah.
So, going on that. I mean, I look at it as like R&B and Ribs as in the DJ community. Every DJ knows of that.
Fucking
Nopa
dope
Slaps,
ass part. Yeah. I was
Nopa
about to shout
Slaps
him out.
runs it and just
Yeah.
kind of goes out to different cities, brings dope ass DJs
Yeah.
to it, and typically it's at an outdoor venue in the Bay. That's kind of what I think of like your night here in Milwaukee. Obviously, I wish it was warm enough that you could have it outside
right.
more.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, what made you want to get that started and then kind of get it off the ground to where it grew so much that you had to move it out of Revel?
Yeah. So it started at this bar called Revel, for people that don't know where Revel is. It's in Bayview in Milwaukee. It's like an outer suburb on the south side of Walker's Point. And it's a small venue, 80-person capacity venue. They have hookah. It's like more so of a lounge vibe. So I remember my sister Mariah, it was her birthday, and she was asking me like, yo, what's to do on a Tuesday? And I was telling her about this Tuesday party because, you know, I'm friends with the people of Revel. And shout outs to Haley Pollard, shout outs to Adrian, and shout outs to Parisia. Like they hit me up because I randomly was on their Facebook thing when they were promoting it, and I was like, as I was like booking a section for them, or I booked like 2 sections for them, and I wasn't working it. I was like, y'all got me effed up, y'all got me fucked up if y'all think I'm not hopping on the aux cord. And then Paris and Haley pulled me to the side, like text me on the side, like, actually that's a good idea. Like it was right after New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
you know how it is after New Year's Eve. It's usually predominantly slower after New Year's Eve because everybody has partied. I think we started on
spent
like
all their money.
We started on like a January 3rd or 4th, like, and it was a Tuesday. And I'm like, damn, like I ain't never did no fucking all R&B. They were like all R&B, and I'm like, I never did no shit like that, but I know R&B, so like let me just see what happens. And let me tell you, that fucking bar was fucking packed. I was like, you never even knew fucking thing existed, but most of the people came from my sister. She had like 30, 40 people show up just based on her birthday party. And then it was a line. It was a $5, $10 cover to pay me. You know, like that's how I was getting paid on Tuesdays. So it was packed. It was a solidified Tuesday night for like months. And then I guess like something happened with the neighbors being Karens. They didn't want us. They didn't want R&B Tuesday in Bayview. And basically we had to move it. In 48 hours, we had to move Revel to Miramar Theater. And Miramar is 4 or 5 times the size of Revel. So I'm like, dude, like we have to make sure promotion's on point. Like, and we did it. We had like the first week, it was like 125, almost 200 people showed up. Week after week, it always built, and people were seeing. I was making sure it was on Snapchat. I'm making sure everybody tagged me, and so I can repost it, so people know like it's going down. And I want to say like a month that thing got packed. Like I remember one time I went to the bathroom upstairs because there's like a green room in the back, in the front. Well, in the back of the stage area, and I walked down. I think Nick and Gilly was there, and he was like, bro, this is nuts. And I'm looking down at the footage, and my jaw dropped. I was like, where the fuck did these people come from? It was like 500-600 people on a Tuesday, packed wall to wall, singing Keisha Cole.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, we got something here, like. And I'm like walking, I'm like, man, I'm making money. Like, I'm just happy, I'm excited. Like, we all making money. Like, yeah, we did it. Like, I felt achieved. And then, like, you know, year 2 comes along. Great. Year 3 slows down a little bit, gets back good. And then, like, I don't know, like, you just start to learn, like, little, like, right now, I know for sure we're about to go back into the busy season again of R&B Tuesday. Yeah. Like, I know we had like a drought in like September, October-ish.
Starts to get cold too. It's cuffing season.
Oh my God. Well, that's another. Well, I'll talk about that in another. I got a little idea for a party, but that I'm about to start soon. But yeah, like it's been pretty successful.
Yeah,
like it's one of those stables like the point where people are starting like in the last four years that we've been doing this. There has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 10 R&B parties started after, like R&B Mondays, R&B Tuesdays. There's like another Northside spot that's doing R&B Tuesday the same night we do it, and they have success. Like that's good for them. Like that's why I think like it's money for everybody. You just find out how to market to your people, and that's it. Like it's possible to still pull that off. And then so Wednesday, R&B Wednesday. Sometimes people do it on R&B on weekends now because they're so thirsty to try to get like people out there. But I think it's dope though. Like I don't think Revel or Miramar was the first person to start that party in period, like the lifelong of R&B Tuesday, because I've seen it done before. But I do think I got to give them credit because like randomly thinking of the play, like to pull me in to the mix of it, because it never was my idea. I just kind of capitalized on it, like, and made it cooler, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Versus it just being a bar thing where people just stop in and buy a drink or two and just bounce out a little later and, leave with a lady, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, now at Miramar, they're able to do full bottle service.
Yeah,
we hookah there.
like this past was today, Wednesday? Thursday, right?
Yeah.
2 days ago, we overly sold it. Like, I was like, yo, I hit up the bottle girls. I'm like, yo, y'all mind if I do this? If I have them come early, and we sold 3 tables over our limit. Like, because we want to make sure, like, general admission at least get a chance to smoke hookah, sit down and chill. Like, we have it to a science, to a T. And then another thing that's helping us, like, the city was against us because we have so many, 400 or 500 people leaving. We've been trying to work with them for so long, and they were doing towing shit, like where you couldn't park on Oakland.
Anywhere on Oakland.
Yeah, and just last week they took those signs down again. I'm like, thank God. Like, for now, like, but we're gonna run with that as long as we could, like, because that does play a part. Like, people want to be able to park in the front of a venue or around the corner. Like, people don't want to walk 10
Especially
blocks.
here, man. It's cold
as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's why they had to do it, because like the snow's gonna come eventually. Like, how are you gonna stop the people that actually live on that block and live in that area, the businesses that are there? Like, how are they supposed to make money if you're putting towing signs and towing their fucking shit because people want to come to R&B Tuesday?
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
So doing these events
feels racist, but
it might be. So how do you balance it as far as doing these different residencies? I mean, you have all these different residencies. How do you keep the sets from becoming stale and keeping them fresh every week, especially when it is branded towards something that's like an R&B every single Tuesday? So
now on Tuesdays, I have openers for the last year and a half. I've been having openers, and they're all guys I trust. I rotate new guys if they ever want to. Like, Rucker just had his first R&B Tuesday 2 nights ago.
He was in his fields.
He was in his
R&B fields.
I told him, I warned him, but he had a good time though. But yeah, it was a good night. Like, I always have guys open so we open from 9 to 1, and from 9 to 11, I always have guys just come in and get warm up the dance floor for me. And it's a vibe. Like, it's like a concert. I usually always tell people, like, people come in there, I was like, don't overthink it. Like, just do you, play music that you want to play, and you're good. Like, make sure it's R&B, not rap music. That's the only time I'm like against rap music.
Yeah.
Like, you can't play rap unless it's like a R&B rap song. You know what I mean? But and we play R&B all night from 9 to 1 a.m.
Has that helped you being able to hear other DJs come on
it
too,
has,
where it's like they
at
play
first
something?
I was against it because like it wasn't my idea to do the opening shit, and I had to drop the ego and be like, all right, let me just listen and see how it, because I probably was redundant, playing the same shit, like some DJs we know sometimes do. Play the same shit. It works,
But that's what I'm saying. And when you're running a residency like that, especially for 4 years,
you have to change it all the time.
You got to be digging for new music.
And I find new music. I'm like, damn, like certain songs that I was afraid to play, and sometimes they'll play it. Like I have three favorite DJs that I love having with me at R&B because I just know the vibe is going to be right there. You know what I mean? I'm not going to name them because I might piss off the other DJs that DJ with me, but I'll always have them with me, and I'm like, damn, like they really like getting in that bag, and to the point where I'm like, damn, I wish I would have played that song. Like, and me watching them, I'm like, man, I need to stop overthinking this shit. Because sometimes it's easy to overthink, but it's also the pressure that comes with this shit. Like you said, I'm the hottest. I don't think that. Like, I never think I'm the hottest DJ. Whatever. I never think that though, because like the moment you think that, like, it comes with more pressure and
Yeah.
like more, you start to overthink shit that you don't need to overthink, you know? And it sometimes it's like the littlest shit. And I'm not the type of person that likes to be out here. I'm just so happen to have a job that makes me out here. Like, if it was me, I wouldn't have social media, but my job depends on social media, you know? So, like, I don't know.
It does. It's hard to turn that off, too, because it's like...
I thought about making my own personal page. I'm like, what's the fucking point? Like, I have this page already.
All
like,
your shit is your personal page anyway, yeah. But that's part of the artistry of it, where it's allowing people to kind of get into your personal life.
Yeah.
And that's probably what makes people a bigger fan of you or a bigger follower of you.
Right.
Is
I'm pretty open. Like I'm on this podcast.
Yeah.
Saying whatever the fuck I want. Like, I don't care. Like, if somebody wants to fire me, they can, because I'm going to go to the next venue after that. Like, I don't care, you know. But
I feel like that's what people appreciate as a follower, is the authenticity of like, this is Brandis, this is who he is, whether he's on a podcast, whether he's on Instagram, whether I see him in person. You've always been the same fucking person, at least to me, and I'm sure to everybody else, which I appreciate, because
a year ago, me and you would probably doing beers on the show, but
oh yeah,
I think
we would for sure.
Are you sober too?
No, I just don't really drink that much. Like,
okay. Nashville turned you into a pussy.
I just don't like.
I'm turning into the Wisconsin people.
Yeah, you're the people that are fucking on people's ass now for not drinking. It's fucking you. Yeah, but no, that's literally. It's just I'm trying to like stay busy with other shit, and just
AKA
not
Maddie.
drinking. No, I mean, she hasn't even been here. She's been living in Kentucky the last month, so for work. So it's like all week I'm by myself.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I've just been so busy with this and then with DJing and just trying to stay focused on getting healthy and not fucking drinking 6-7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, and especially when you have all your friends here. Like, it's so easy to just get hit up and be like, hey, you want to go grab dinner somewhere? You want to go grab drinks somewhere? And it's like, it leads to fucking 10 drinks, and then all of a sudden you end up at fucking Whitetail on a Sunday night drinking Hennessy. I'm like, damn, fucking happened again. Berto got me. But no,
I'm back.
Yeah, it's crazy. But talk about for you, like running these different residencies, and then obviously with Lucid closing down here. Do you already have a venue like set for a Friday or no?
Nah, not yet.
Not yet? Is there like people in the running, or what do you got?
Oh,
here?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like four people hit me up already. Can
you say like what you're trying to do stylistically, or is it just going to be like a club night?
Basically, no. I'm trying to. One, I'm looking for great compensation that makes sense.
Yeah.
Two, I'm looking for a venue that is going to be fun to play at. For not only just playing at, but also somewhere that's going to be fun for the consumer, that the regular people would want to come in, and have fun and do, and the easiest way possible. You know, somewhere. Yeah, I'm not trying not to say too much because I'm still.
So does that involve in looking into like location and everything like that too? Okay. You factor in all that stuff into
Correct. Because you know how it is in Milwaukee. Like, it's hard, and it makes my job even harder. So if they can make it easier on me a little bit, you know, I'm just looking for something that makes sense for me and the venue. Yeah. You know. So.
No, and then for the consumers coming there for sure too. Because even a place like Lucid and 720, it's like those aren't far at all by any means, but
it's out of
it's out of like downtown.
You know, it's kind of sad. Like, you know, if you think about it, like Lucid's closing. How many clubs are here in Milwaukee now? You know, and that just shows you like people are kind of going to these bars now. Like, we're in a bar era in Wisconsin or Milwaukee. And it sucks because ain't that convention coming up here like next year? Like,
well, that's all those people want anyways, fucking bars. And I feel like the majority of the bars here are more so like bar clubs. Like, if you look at like a Trinity a Brothers, RWB. I mean, RWB is not a fucking bar. Trinity, it turns into a fucking nightclub at night. Yeah. They got all the lights going now too. Brothers, same way, where Brothers is a huge venue. That can basically turn into a nightclub at night, where it's like they got TVs everywhere. You're a sports bar during the day. I mean, you look at behind us, you got bag sets and all this shit, and then turn into a nightclub at night. But yeah, I mean, you're down to 720 and Bodega.
Yeah,
and that's that's about it as far as your clubs go.
Yeah, and the other club next to it, if you want to count that, but fuck Nick, so I'm gonna say that. I hold grudges so bad, like
But
whatever.
it's something else cool that you just did for the first time that I've ever seen
And
in
fuck
Milwaukee.
Habib too. No. Don't edit.
I didn't even know they were open still.
Yeah, they're still open.
Yeah. But you just did this boiler room event
Yeah.
at Miramar, which is awesome that you're able to host it somewhere that you have a residency. I think that's a perfect fitting venue for it too.
You just like how I moved out the DJ booth?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, that's a dope place to do it.
I sold bottle service there too, in case you didn't want to be into the thing, like into the
You wanna have
mosh
people-
of people,
yeah.
you know. And still, like, what's funny is most of those tables still like came on the dance floor because they were enjoying it so much. Like,
Yeah.
the energy in the room for the boiler room shit, like, was so cool. Like, it wasn't actually sponsored by Boiler Room, but I know people that can possibly get that on Boiler Room, like actually like get Boiler Room to sponsor the next event or, you know, a few events. I might have to throw a few of them to get their eyes on it. You know, I just wanted to be like Milwaukee to be seen beyond Milwaukee and beyond Wisconsin, you know.
Yeah. It's a
And
dope
possible.
event. It's
It was cool as fuck. Like
stressful.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like, damn, I haven't thrown an event in a while. Like, it's, if you think about it, like, other Summerfest technically was my event. Like, I threw that, but like before Summerfest, I haven't thrown my own, like literally just me on my own. Like, that was just me, you know, like by myself.
Were you stressed about people spilling on the equipment?
I kept on saying it, but everybody was like cool. Like
Yeah.
everyone was chilling. They were like, or even the people with the alcohol in their hands, they were like literally sitting, like staying back. They were making sure everybody else, like, they were covered our shit. Like, it was like, damn, it's like a unity thing. Like, everybody was so respectful. Everybody was dancing. Everybody knew why they were there. They're like, they were just waiting. And the people that didn't know what the fuck, it was so many, like half of those people didn't know what the fuck a boiler room was.
Yeah, never watched it or seen
Never
it.
watched
Yeah.
it, and they just wanted to be a part of it. And the love in the building, like I had Grace Jen open, I had her and DJ Gemini Gilly go back to back, and the room was just love. Like, low key, Gemini, she had the best set out of all of us. I ain't gonna lie, she killed it, like crushed it, like washed my ass. And I'm the headliner. I'm like, damn, like she's killing it. Like, props to her. But like,
You almost want to just let her keep playing.
I wanted
huh?
to though.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get on. Like, I was like, damn. But she crushed it. Like, I didn't want to ruin her moment either. Like, she just was like just killing it. Her and Grace. Like, they were loving it. Like, we're in a like, and I feel like we need more female DJs to be seen too. Like, that's why I chose them for that event, because I feel like there's not a lot of female DJs being seen for whatever reason. But
Yeah, I never really understand how like more females don't get into DJing.
True.
Like, I feel like it's, as far as me, as like a booker and a manager's perspective, I'm like, dude, if you're a female,
You're gonna bring more women in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's already easier from the jump, but then like, if you are good at your craft too, bro, like you're gonna get booked before a dude will. If you're the same talent level, I feel like a booker is gonna book a female over a male. So it's like,
imagine having a very, very like hot DJ that actually is like really, really good.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I would be
Like,
her
who's
manager.
not going to want to book? Yeah. Who's not going to want to book?
Yeah.
But, and then obviously as far as like friends and stuff coming out, I mean, you're going to bring these girls out and that's what venues want to see.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
then the
what's
guys
that-
will come out and spend money.
What's her name? Finesse in Chicago. She does the all girl party.
I don't know.
Have you seen? She's like the Hispanic girl.
Never
She's out in
seen her.
Chicago. She does the what is it called?
But it's an all girls party?
It's an all girls
Yeah.
party, similar to the Hot Girl Summer shit
Yeah,
that I did here.
yeah.
Sorry Poppy.
Okay.
She does Sorry Poppy, and she does it like all over, but she's in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that thousands of girls go to that party. And it's like all girls. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, my shit had to have a little bit of penis in there. But like,
It was invite only dick though.
yeah, like, you know, the girls had to invite the dick over, you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, like, it's like all females, like
Yeah.
women only. I'm like, fuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
in
it probably
Chicago
is
too.
so much more
Like, can I be
fun.
the light guy?
Yeah. That's it. Just get me in there as a light guy. But yeah, you hit on it a little bit before of Summerfest too. You played Summerfest now a bunch of times, starting back in like 2016, playing with Ishtar, local Milwaukee artist, to now this past year playing Summerfest and bringing your own R&B event onto a Summerfest stage. How special was that?
Man, I cried, bro. To be honest with you, like I cried because it was like, damn, I was seeing all of these people from like this 10 years of work. I was seeing the older people from my house parties, the newer generation show up for me. And it was like a monumental moment. And I was looking at it. I'm like, holy shit. Like my openers, I had at least like 10 openers because I had R&B artists. I gave them a platform. I had DJs, and I had all the guys from R&B Tuesdays, DJ Gemini Gilly, Nick Stokes, GA, Music by Manny, Mike Shane, Meech Low. It was plus more, DJ Snack Daddy. It was a bunch of guys that I met over the years, and they were able to be on that stage. And it wasn't just you be on the stage. Like they had 8,000, 9,000 people to perform at. You know, as soon as 7 o'clock hit, people were running to the stage, running. And I'm like watching, I'm like, what the fuck they running for? Like, ain't nobody in here yet. But it was like 1,000 people the first hour, like the first 30 minutes. And the next hour was like 3,000 people. And then I went in the back, I was saying hi to everybody. My dad came, and then I'm just enjoying the moment. And I had my friend Sam make sure the show was running right, because I didn't feel like dealing with that shit. So I had him in charge of making sure everybody get a ticket. Aaron Jones showed up from the Packers. Like, it was crazy. And then it was like, damn, like I actually, that was actually one of those moments where I I didn't get to process it when it happened, but like right after I was like, holy fuck, I just threw my own show at Summerfest. Like, what the fuck? And there was a lot of people who couldn't make it, and they were like, man, I'm so proud of you. Like, even people that I haven't talked to in years, like, bro, I'm seeing you on everybody's story. Sorry I couldn't make it. Thank you for doing this. Like, it was like a monumental moment, not for just me. I feel like for the city of Milwaukee, because I think like it was a thing like where everybody just felt like they were at my house party in a way. And I don't know, I felt the love that day for sure. Like right before I got on, I'm like watching DJ Gemini, Gilly, and Nick Stokes. I made sure they were like on right before me, because a lot of people don't know Nick Stokes was my guy like years ago, like 8-9 years ago, when he was like throwing his own events and we were young. I had stopped DJing for 2 years because like unfortunately I was at one, it wasn't my house party, but at a house party I was at and I was DJing at, I seen a double homicide in front of me. And I never DJed. It's like, I'm never going to DJ again. And that shit still like lingers in my head sometimes. And I think about that shit sometimes. And I remember when I did my first little party and I met Ish, that's how me and him got close. And we started working together, and he kind of got me back to DJing. And Nick was one of the only people who was booking me back then. It was at that time, it was me and DJ Booba, because we were like the young guys at the time that were doing like the young adult parties. And Nick Stokes was one of the people that, that looked out for me and made sure like I was still DJing, because he cared about me as a person, not just as a DJ. And that's why I made sure him and Gilly were on right before I did, or before I went on.
Just to be able to put them on.
Yeah. And it was dope. Like it just felt so good. You just felt the love in the room. All these, the owners were coming for the show, like, and they got to see it. And I had these fucking young 16, 17-year-olds singing Keisha Cole, Love. And it was like crazy. And I was surprised they knew it. Yeah. But also had to dumb it down. Like I had to tell myself like, yo, you have to dumb it down a little bit. Get these fucking kids to know who the fuck you are, because they don't know who the fuck you are. They just see you on the stage. And then when I brought out Aaron Jones, they went nuts. They're like, ah. And then I started dropping rap. I started dropping hip hop. And the crowd just going nuts. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to go banger after banger now, because that's all they want to hear. I have less time now than I do in the club. So just drop all that shit that you hear, that you play in the club, and just play it right here.
And let them just hear the versatility from you as a DJ. Yeah.
And I was right. I even went back. I caught myself. I was like, dude, I'm about to drop this thing. Because, Marquette, they love Mo Bamba.
Mm-hmm.
And then Madison.
Has jump around.
Yeah. Right? So I'm like, do I have any people from Marquette in the building right tonight? And they're like, yeah. UWM, yeah. University of Wisconsin, everybody's screaming. I'm like, all right, I already knew they were going to say that.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. And the crowd is just jumping. I'm like, I'm not even exaggerating. I got footage of this shit. You can feel it shaking. Like, and it was a country concert for, I don't know his name, something Taylor. It was right next door to me, and it started raining. All those country people came to my stage on the outside, jumping around. It was crazy. Like, me and the stage manager were talking about this. She said, you just broke the record for the Soundwave stage.
For most people that came to that stage?
For most people, yeah. Damn. It was like a party outside of my part. Like, I think the thing only holds 9,000. We had 13,000 people in that area, and it was crazy. And then next year, that's why I'm like, next year, man, y'all got to pay a little more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're like, you told me that I broke records, so already the price just went up.
Prices
you fucked up. But yeah, you did Summerfest. I like to think of, like, even over COVID, doing the Black Lives Matter bike rides that you did.
Yeah.
Which I think, obviously, for the city and for what was going on at that time, too. Obviously, we had COVID, then you had George Floyd, and it's leading those movements all through the city was something that was crazy to me. And you have an entire new following behind you, and then different people getting to know who you are, not only musically, but as a person just for the city that's putting on for political rights movements. And
that event was bigger than I thought it was, because like one time I was at No Studios on the rooftop just doing like office work and shit, and this girl's like, I know you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, you probably know me from 720.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, I don't go to the club. And I'm like, oh, shit, all right. Maybe Whitetail. I start naming. She's like, I don't go out. And I'm like, what the fuck should my house party? She's like, I don't go to house parties. And I was like, Black is Beautiful? She's like, you're the DJ from that bike ride. I'm like, yeah. And that humbled me a little bit. I'm like, damn, like, she really didn't know who the fuck I was. Like, not from the club shit. She knew me from the civil rights stuff. Yeah. And I was like, damn, like, that's powerful. Like, and then after that, I tapped in, followed her. I wrote her a message like, yo, thank you for coming, joining me. And that was kind of dope.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, like, looking back on the pictures and the videos and stuff like that. It gives you like chills, like seeing the pictures that were taken from it of you just set up in the back of a car.
Yeah, on top
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people following you.
Thousands
of people following you, and just kind of all riding along, all to support.
Honestly, that in my all the things I've done, I just told you about Summerfest. That event right there was like the most monumental thing for me. When I was crossing that bridge, and I think Tupac was playing like Changes, and I see DJ Cell on his bike, and he's like right next to me, and I'm like just taking all that in. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Chris Haas, he came out there and shot for free. He didn't charge me a dime. You know, like all these people, he's like, bro, I'm just doing my part. Like, I just want to be a part of this. Like, people, my white friends that, you know, they say they support me, they really showed up and like really went out there. You know, Lacey, before she had to open up Lotus Slay at the time, she came through with her, Devin and all the girls and all that stuff like that, like little shit like that. Like, I remember, like, and that was the whole point when I, you know, we actually changed it. We changed the route, and I was like, let me go to 3rd Street, because I seen all my friends partying and shit. I'm like, dude, all I asked was for an hour of your time. Now, if that, like, just to come with me, you know, you can join with me, join with the people. Come for a thing. Sunday Fun Day is always going to be there, you know. That's why I was a little hurt by certain people, but that's a part of the game. Like, everybody's going to want to make their money, like, and people are going to want to party, whatever. But that was low-key the reason why I went up to 3rd Street. We changed the route and switched it to make sure we hit 3rd Street. And we're like, everybody at the bar is like, like, come on, join us. It's a bike ride.
Instead of fucking sitting in the bar.
And drinking. Like, we can do that at 5 p.m. when we're done with the fucking thing.
Could do it on the bike.
Ride. You could do it on the way, straight up. You know, like, but everybody ain't built like that. But like, it was cool, you know, that event. And we did what, 2? Black is Beautiful. Yeah. We did 2, and you know, we were going to do it yearly actually, but everybody's a lot of shit happened around the last 3 years. So with scheduling, and so we weren't able to do it again. But we might bring that back. We might have to bring that back because that was really a dope event.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
And it was kids. It was like little kids, like a part of it. Like it was just so dope.
Do you think that like out of all the events that you've done,
that's my favorite one?
Yeah,
yeah. It just felt like I felt like I did something right. You know, like I did something good, and it wasn't
like it's
to
more
benefit.
than just DJing.
Like like it wasn't about money. Like I wasn't paid to be there. Like it was more so just being there. You know, with the people.
Yeah, just in the moment.
Yeah, and it was dope.
Yeah,
I'm happy I was able to be a part of that in Black is Beautiful, Milwaukee. Yeah,
hell yeah. Outside of a lot of this DJing, you were presented with the opportunity to become a DJ for Adidas.
Yeah.
How's that been?
It's been good. I haven't really done too much work. I had a situation. I actually was supposed to DJ for Damian Lillard and Coles just like 2 weeks ago. I had a situation I'm not going to talk about where I wasn't able to make it, but I've done like 5 or 6 to 7 events for them already in the past 2 months. Wait, I started in November. So
I was like, there's no way it's been over 2 months.
Yeah, okay. So it just started. November 1st was actually when I first started working with them. But yeah, I DJ for a sneaker company in 2023, which wasn't my goal. Like I've been working on that plan for when the opportunity presented itself. It was like February, and this is before Summerfest and all that, and it finally got finalized like right when the fall happened. And I made a video right away, like, and just create a campaign for myself to let people know, like, I'm about to start DJing events for Adidas. And that's all that video was. It was like 30, 40 seconds. My guy Gonzalez Visual shot it, who does mostly all my content. If you ever see a video, he does all my stuff. And yeah, I just been DJing events for them. Pretty much my role is to DJ in Chicago, Milwaukee, in the Midwest. And I told them, like, I'm willing to even fly out, you know, and do stuff for Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny is with a DJ, or Damian Lillard needs a DJ. I'm here, you know? So it's kind of cool. Like, everything's been cool. They sent me a few free things, but yeah. But
some shoes or what?
They sent me some shoes, yeah. I haven't really got much like shirts or anything, but I'm sure they'll send it. All I have to do is just email them, but yeah.
They'll send some shit out, yeah. That's dope. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely more than a little bit cool. You're too humble with it, but it's an awesome opportunity, and I'm happy to see that you're getting the opportunity and able to do something that's huge. I mean, and hopefully, obviously, with a guy like Dame, that's a huge Adidas guy.
Shout out to my boy Shake. Shakes is actually the one that helped me make that play. He owns Sneaks and what's the other one? Clicks. Out in Shorewood.
Yep.
Yeah, he helped me with that. He's the main guy that helped me with that. He's Jam Master Jay's best friend. God rest his soul. But yeah, like he helped me with that.
Hell yeah.
One day I was just up and I was like, yo, like how do I get sponsored by Adidas? And he was like, bro, why don't you just DJ for them? And I'm like, all right.
I guess if you want me.
And he put me in contact with this lady who is the vice president of marketing for North America Adidas. Her name is Claire. Super cool lady. She FaceTimes me randomly, like, what would you like to do with the company? And I'm like awkward, like in a t-shirt, like, yeah, Claire, I would like to, and I'm just telling her what I want to do. And honestly, my end goal with Adidas is not, I don't really have an end goal, but my goal with the company of Adidas is just to basically do my events, get them to sponsor it so I can have their logo everywhere, and maybe give out free pairs of shoes, or maybe help kids in the community that might not have the access to sneakers right Christmas time or whatever. I want to get so good with the company where I'm able to bless kids and here, this is on behalf of Adidas. Thank you. And just go about my day. And it kind of reminds me of like the Black is Beautiful shit. Like I think, it's not just about DJing no more. It's about like what you do in the community too. Like that shit matters. Yeah, and people look at that shit too.
It starts turning into the events that you're doing that you're most appreciative of aren't necessarily the most paying, but the ones that are the most impactful.
Yeah.
Which would be dope. So, well, yeah, man, I appreciate it. We're going to hit you with some rapid fire questions here.
All right.
So I got a couple written down for you of just something I like to do with these rapid fire questions. So we'll hit you with a couple of them here. First one is going to be, if you could bring any player to the Bucks right now, who are you bringing?
Anybody?
Anybody.
Do I have to trade it? I don't have to trade anybody?
We don't have to lose anybody.
Drew Holiday. Bring Drew Holiday back.
Bring Drew back? Man, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, fuck, I would love that.
Yeah.
Like,
boom. Championship number 2 is promised.
I love Drew. Man, that one hurt.
Yeah,
that one hurt.
It did. And like I got so excited. I'm like, because I have woes on my my thing, on my Twitter.
So you get the notifications right away.
It's like Damian Lillard, and I'm looking. I'm like, oh, where did he go? And it's like Milwaukee. I was like, no fucking way. And I'm like, who do we trade? And they didn't announce it. They took like 10 minutes. Like, Drew Holiday is gone. I already knew it.
Yeah.
I say, there's no way this deal goes through if Drew Holiday isn't gone.
Yeah, it's bittersweet because you're obviously happy to get a player like Dame, but Drew, as far as being a great person, especially for the city of Milwaukee and the community.
I mean, when you think about the 2021 championship, you hear knocked out by Holiday.
Yeah.
And the lob to Giannis, and Giannis just secures in game. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pick. Who is your favorite artist right now to listen to outside of the club?
Outside of the club, Drake.
Drake?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite artist to play right now?
Drake.
So
he's a Scorpio like
all
me.
around,
Certified lover boy. That's me.
What is an event that you would like to be a part of?
Oh, R&B and Ribs. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Man, I would love to see you on there. I mean, I'm sure Nopa, if he would see all your stuff, he would bring you out there for sure.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if Metro was on it already or if he's gonna be. I don't know if I can say that or not.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think he's going out there for one of them.
Nice.
But yeah, R&B Ribs is one that I think would be fucking awesome for you to do.
Yeah.
And it's just such a dope event. I know obviously you would kill it from doing your R&B nights here.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. If you could collaborate and work with any other DJ for any of the events that you do, who would you bring in? Let's pick one for each one. So let's pick.
Okay.
Who would you bring in for R&B Tuesday as a guest?
Like in Milwaukee or just period?
In Milwaukee, yeah.
In Milwaukee?
So let's say for your events that you're a resident at right now, who would you bring in for R&B Tuesday if you could bring in anyone? And who would you bring in to 720 with you and Eddie?
For 720, I would go with either light skinned Larry or
going with locals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you said local and
no, just anybody. I mean,
really?
Like if you could bring in anybody for these events.
So I'm gonna do local and somebody big.
Yeah.
Local, I would do light skinned Larry for 720, and I'm trying to think of some. DJ Craze for 720.
Nice.
I think Craze would fucking crush that shit.
Yeah.
For R&B, local, I would bring you.
I would love to.
I would bring you, and then R&B. I'm trying to think who would do. Maybe DJ 5.
Okay.
Maybe DJ 5 to do an R&B set.
Yeah.
I know he can do it.
Oh yeah.
Or we were just talking about Kid Cut Up.
Cut Up? Okay.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
That'd be a dope one.
Kid Cut Up is God to me because like I literally went to Dick's to see him.
Yeah.
Like him and Apollo. Like I used to come all the time. I seen them on the flyer.
Okay.
At Dick's. That's crazy. Yeah.
He'd be a good one to bring back home and then do it. Definitely be a good one to put on for the city. So I like Spider Tech. Like if I could do.
Oh yeah, that's right. Spider Tech.
His shit from R&B and Ribs.
fire.
Like I still listen to that.
I do
that
too.
Set. Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
it's fucking fire. So
I didn't think. Oh my God, Miles Medina.
Oh, Miles too. Yeah,
He's like my favorite DJ.
Yeah,
I just like his vibe. Like he would kill the Boiler Room.
Yeah,
like I actually got inspired from him, from his set. That's what inspired me to do Boiler Room.
Hell yeah.
I seen him doing like obviously a Boiler Room to them is what they already do in LA anyway. So like I seen him rocking some like spot, some theater in LA, and he was just crushing.
Okay.
Yeah, Miles Medina. He's
good
different
with his content and shit too.
Yeah,
it's really good. And then obviously
I used to tune into his live shows. I haven't done it much because I haven't really been on Twitch that much.
So cold.
But he is a monster.
Yeah.
He always does something different. I'm like, dude, how do you have something fresh, something new every week?
Just ideas in the bag all the time. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Who do you think right now is the most overhyped artist?
Overhyped artist?
Overhyped, yeah. You'll play their shit because everyone loves it, but you don't.
Drake, I'm playing.
Just right back to him.
Favorite and most hype, no. Future. I think Future's overrated right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get so many requests at 720, play some Future. And I'm like, man, I ain't playing him right now. But it does work in the club. I don't even know
last time. I mean, when Future hasn't put out anything like recently even too. But he still will just always get requests. So.
Lil Baby, I like Lil Baby. I think he is overrated though. Like, yeah. I don't listen to him outside of the club, but I play him in the club.
Hell yeah, you have to. Yeah. But awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. I thank you for taking the time and taking out of your busy schedule. I know you're DJing tonight, DJing tomorrow, DJing the next day, DJing the day after that. But seriously, I appreciate it. It's good to catch up with you. Obviously, I know I'm going to see you this weekend too. Doing New Year's at Lucid.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you're here for the whole weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just kicking it all weekend and then just hanging with the boys and playing New Year's, and then you're going to go to the Bucks game on New Year's Day and
I'm thinking about
head
going
back
too.
home. So.
Bad.
But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'll get all your socials out to everybody. Make sure you go follow him for sure. Go see all these new events that he's doing, see where he's ending up in free agency, see what venue is going to take over for these Fridays. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
If you're in Chicago, book me, or anywhere around.
Or in Nashville.
I'm in Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm free on Fridays right now.
But yeah, if you're listening to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you go follow. If you like,
I'm not canceled yet either.
Not yet. Maybe
Black
after
can
this.
have a big dick. I'm kidding.
If you're listening to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you go hit that follow button. Leave us that 5-star review on YouTube. Leave some comments. If you got any questions for Brandis, throw them in there. Make sure you follow him at Mr. New York. Follow myself at DJ Dex MKE. Tune into those platform mixes every Monday. New DJ mixes from DJs all over the world. Until next time, man. Peace. We're out. Check. Mic check. 1, 2.
Yo, is this thing on or what?